Today I'm going to tell you about wing surfing, harness lines, riding with harnesses, how to attach those, what harnesses work best, all that kind of stuff. So if you're a wing surfer, if you're considering wing surfing and harness lines, watch this video, let me know what you think. If you have any questions or comments, put that in the comment section below. So let's jump right into it. Wing surfing, it's amazing. Everybody's really excited about it, you know, from a huge variety of sports. It's really crazy how huge this sport is getting, how many people are interested in it. And one thing that's really common that I hear about a lot is how tiring it can be on your arms, especially when you're learning. You know, it really takes a lot out of your shoulders and your biceps and even your hands and your wrists. You know, when you're constantly screwing up and having to pump up onto foil, you know, you're using a lot more strength than you do once you get a little bit more proficient riding, or if you're riding waves a lot, you get a good break. But one thing that can help with that is a harness line. So what a harness line does is it connects you to your wing through a harness that attaches to your waist, and it takes the load off your arms. And that'll allow you to ride, you know, one-handed. You can kind of ride no-handed, you know, for a short period of time, but it gives your arms a real rest, and you know, your hands are just kind of there to lead the wing then. And I can ride, you know, one-handed pretty much indefinitely to give my front hand a rest too. So it's a really handy feature to have, you know, especially if you don't have like a windsurfing background and have those real hardcore wing handling muscles. I know I don't, so this is really handy to me. I always ride with a harness line and a harness, and I really love it. And it allows me to take a lot longer sessions and save my strength for pumping and save my strength for when I'm handling the wing and doing other things. So other reasons for a harness line, it does lower the center of gravity. So if you're riding with a lot of power or you're really pushing hard upwind, it takes your center of gravity pulling from your shoulders up top down into your waist, so you can really lean back and sit back into it. It also allows the wing to kind of carry your weight a little bit more from the middle, so you're not being dragged around by the upper part of your body. So as a general rule, you know, it's just allows you to ground your body a little bit more, ground your weight into your feet easier. And what that means is you can ride with more power. You can ride a little more controlled in gusty conditions, and especially when you're driving upwind, you know, you can really lean in and drive upwind better if you're using a harness line, I find anyway. So those are a lot of good reasons to have them. You know, maybe the purists out there, hey, I don't need to worry about it. I ride waves, you know, so I get my break. I don't need to worry about it, whatever. But for me, you know, I ride a lot of different ways, and a lot of times I'm riding back upwind. I'm not just doing downwinders, so it's a handy feature to have on my wings. How do you use these? How do you get them on there? So what I have here is our universal harness line kit. You can find this on our website just by searching universal harness line. What it is it's the F1 harness line that they produce for their swing wing, only it's with the addition of a kiteboarding pigtail that'll allow you to connect this to any wing. So this particular wing, the Airrush Free Wing, has little loops which are handy. Some wings have little pigtails that you can connect these to, and some wings don't have any connection point at all. And if you find one like that and you want to still have a harness line on it, you can connect these to a handle the same way you would connect to this one. So if you look here close, on this end, we just loop through and connect through a lark's head here. These different knots will allow you different lengths on this line depending on how long your arms are or how far away you want the wing. And moving back here with the pigtail, you just loop that around and connect this end with a lark's head to this knot. So whether you're connecting it here to the handle, it would be the same thing. If you already have pigtails, you can remove, or if you already have the little nubs, the pigtails on the boom, you can just forget about this piece and connect directly to that if you want, or you can use this one too and make it a little bit longer. It's up to you. So it's pretty basic connection. You know, it's so easy that I oftentimes will even just use one harness line. I don't have a spare one for every single wing I'm using usually. Although it is kind of handy and they are cheap, so if you don't want to take the minute and a half to change it up, every single session, then it's nice to have one for each wing, I guess. So yeah, you just hook into it using a harness hook. It allows you to lean back into it, and that's why you would have one. That's how you connect it. In terms of harnesses that work best for wing foiling, this one's one of my favorites. This is the Mystic Star harness. It's just a really affordable, nice harness, super flexible and lightweight, really low profile. The back plate's not too huge. And the reasons I like that is just allows you more flexibility. Obviously, when you're wing foiling, you're laying down on your board, you're kneeling on your board, you're getting up. It's not like kiteboarding where you're pretty much always laid back. So it really helps to have more flexible, maneuverable harness. It also allows you to turn your harness around if you need to. So if you need to lay down prone to paddle in on a light wind day or something, or, you know, God forbid you should have a wing malfunction and you need to swim in, that'll allow you to turn your hook to the back of the harness and paddle in with the flat part in front. It's really nice to have a harness bypass leash like this. You won't find it on a lot of windsurf harnesses, but you will find it on most kiteboarding harnesses. And that allows you to attach your leash to it. This is how I ride. I just leave it kind of attached to my board here. And that way my leash is connected behind me where it's not in my way. And when I stand up, that way it lifts the leash out of the water and reduces drag. So that works really well. Here I have a windsurfing hook spreader bar. Works really good, easy to hook in, hook out, very simple, comfortable. You can also use kiteboarding harness hooks or spreader bar hooks. They're just a little bit more curved, so they require a little bit more intentional action to get it unhooked. For that reason, I actually prefer the windsurf hook if you don't already have a kiteboarding harness, because it's just a little easier to get unhooked when you're ready to do that. Just a little bit of downward pull in and downward motion should drop it right out of the hook and allow you to keep riding without the harness line. So yeah, it's a handy little trick, very simple, really effective way to extend your sessions, save your arm strength for more important things, especially in light winds. If you're pumping a lot, you know, it's nice to give your arms a rest in between when you're just cruising, riding upwind, etc. And that's that. One thing you do want to do is do your best to unhook if you're falling. If you're hooked in and you're falling, try to pull in and down to unhook. If you're falling with this on there, it's going to put a little bit more undue stress on your wing. It's going to be fine in most situations, but you know, if you really take a hard fall or twist funny with a lot of power in the wing, you could potentially damage your wing if you're not unhooking. So that's just the risk that's associated with that. Haven't had it happen to me, which is great. And I have definitely fallen quite a few times being hooked in, but it's nothing to really worry about. In terms of ability levels for riding on a harness line, personally, I would recommend it to people that are riding confidently. So don't necessarily hook right in and go when you're a brand new beginning rider that's still struggling with getting on foil and riding confidently. Really, you know, wait till you get to the point where you can ride pretty confidently in adequate wind, and you know, you might not be nailing your transitions yet or doing all the fancy tricks, but in the right wind, you can go out there and pump up and ride confidently for 100 yards. At that point, it's a good time to add a harness line or any higher level as well. So that's that. Nothing really else to say about these. They're pretty simple, straightforward, but if you do have any questions or comments, put those in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up if you appreciated the video, and subscribe, share with a friend. This has been Tucker with MattKiteboarding.com, and we'll talk to you next time.